is myself Durai, working as assistant professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, KSR College of Engineering. Now we have to see about the power plant engineering subject for the students third year BE, fifth semester Mechanical Engineering. Unit 1, coal-based thermal power plants. This is the first unit. In this unit, the syllabus main topics are Rankling cycle and fuel and ash handling system. In the Rankling cycle, improvisation, layout of modern coal power plant and supercritical boilers, then FBC boilers, turbines, condenser, then steam and heat rate, subsystems of thermal power plants. These are the topics under the Rankine cycles. Then fuel and ash handling systems. In fuel and ash handling systems, fuel and ash handling, draft systems, feed water treatment, binary cycles, and cogeneration systems. These are the main topics covered in Unit 1. The course outcome for Unit 1 is first topic, introduction of power plant engineering, various power plant, introduction of thermal power. And the key elements, introduction about the power plant, various energy sources. Objectives for student learning, understanding the various power generation systems, thermal power plants. In lecture 2, we have to see about the plant Rankling cycles, thermodynamic process, layout of modern thermal power plants, and the circuits of power plant and the working principles. The key elements, thermodynamic cycles and process of Rankling cycle and thermal power plant components. The students able to understand the basic concepts behind the thermal power plant and the actual process. In lecture 3, we have to see about the supercritical boilers, we have PC boilers, and the classifications and working principles of several boilers. Key elements, classifications of both supercritical boilers and the FBC boilers and working principles. Students able to understand the working and applications of all the boilers. Lecture 4, condenser classifications, working, steam and heat rate of power plants. Key elements, condenser and working of condenser, steam, principles and heat calculations. Students able to understand the numerical calculations. In lecture 5, subsystems of thermal power plant, coal and ash handling systems. Key elements, different components in thermal power plant. Students able to know about working of various components. In lecture 6, draft systems and feed water treatment, draft systems classifications and calculations. Students able to understand the types of draft system and solving the problems. In lecture 7, binary cycles and cogeneration systems are the topics to be covered. The key elements, binary cycles and cogenerations with the other power cycles. The students able to learn about the various cycles and the combined power cycles for cogenerations. First, introduction of power plant engineering, various power plants, introduction of thermal power. The topics to be covered is introduction to power plant engineering, various power plants, introduction to thermal power. Introduction to power plant engineering. A power plant is an industrial facilities used to generate electric power with the help of one or more generators, which converts different energy sources into electrical powers. A power plant or a power generating station is basically an industrial location that is utilized for the generation and distribution of electrical power in mass scale, usually in order of several thousand watts. These are generally located at the Urban regions are several kilometers away from the cities or the load centers because of its logistics like huge land and water demand, along with several operating constraints like the waste disposal, etc. Electricity is produced at an electric power plant. Some fuel sources such as coal, oil, natural gas, or nuclear energy produce heat. The heat is used to boil water to critical steam. Then the steam under high pressure is used to spin the turbine. For this reason, yeah, power generating stations have to not only take care of efficient generation but also the fact that the power is transmitted efficiently over the entire distance, and that's why the transformer switchyard to regulate transmission voltage also becomes an integral part of the power plant. At the center of it, however, nearly all power generating stations has an AC generator or an alternator, which is basically a rotating machine that is equipped to convert energy from the mechanical domain, that is rotating turbine, into electrical domain by creating relative motions between a magnetic field and the conductors. The energy source to the generator shaft varies widely and is chiefly dependent on the type of fuel used. The types of power plants. A power plant can be of several types depending mainly on the types of fuel used. A power generation station can be broadly classified into five types. First one, thermal power plant, diesel engine power plant, gas turbine power plant, nuclear power plant, hydroelectric power plant. Introduction to thermal power and thermal power station. A thermal power station or a coal-fired thermal power plant is the most convenient method of generating electrical power with reasonably high efficiency. It uses coal as the primary fuel to boil the water available to supercritical steam for driving the steam turbine. The turbine is then mechanically coupled to an alternator rotor, the rotation of which result in the generating of electrical power. Generally, in India, bituminous coal or brown coal are used as fuel of boiler, which has oiled content ranging from 8 to 33 percentage and ash content 5 to 16 percentage. To enhance the thermal efficiency of the plant, the coal is used to boiler in its pulverized form. In coal-fired thermal power plant, the steam is obtained in very high pressure inside the steam boiler by burning the pulverized coal. This steam is then superheated in the superheater to extreme high temperature. This superheated steam is then allowed to enter into the turbine as the turbine blades are rotates by the pressure of the steam. The turbine is mechanically coupled with the alternator in a way that is rotor will rotate with the rotation of turbine blades after entering into the turbine. The steam pressure suddenly falls, leading to corresponding increase in steam volume. After having impact energy into the turbine rotors, the steam is made to pass out of the turbine blades into the steam condenser of turbine. In the condenser, cold water at ambient temperature is circulated with the help of pump, which leads to the condensation of low pressure wet stream. In thermal power plant, the heat energy obtained from combustion of solid fuel, mostly coal, is used to convert water into steam. This steam is at high pressure and temperature. This steam is used to rotate the turbine blade turbine shaft is connected to the generator. This one is the uh, modern thermal power station. The plant, which is located nearby coal river, then the boiler, furnace, water treatment plants, the steam which is hitting the turbine, then the turbine gives the energy to the generator generates the electrical power, then the power is transmitted through the trans- transformer by several lines. Components of thermal power plants: first one, coal handling plants, stokers, pulverizer, boiler, superheater. Sixth one is the economizer and air preheater, reheater, condenser, primary air fan, turbine, which is used as a prime mover, draft fan and chimneys, acoustic static precipitator, cooling tower, ash handling plant, electrical equipment, generators, transformers, switchyards. Most thermal plants have coal conveyors, stokers, pulverizer, boiler, coal ash, air preheater, electrostatic precipitator, smoke, turbine, condenser, transformer, cooling tower, generator, high voltage power lines. These are the circuits which is used in thermal power plant, mostly Rankling cycle, boiler. From the boiler it goes to turbine, high pressure turbine, then low pressure turbine, then the generator generates the power. After the steam converted to condenser, then condenser to feed pump, then the water is heated, it's a preheated water, then the preheated water with the help of feed pump to the boiler. These are the cyclic process. Thank you.